Welcome back to the channel, lads. If you didn't know already, this is the Airfix 1/72 scale Dornier 17. Yes, 72 scale again. I did make a bit of a song and dance about, oh, can I build 72 scale? Got a bit scared of it, but it's fine. Right, now, this is part of a three-way buddy build little series between myself, Paddy's Models World, and Jason's channel, Champion Scale Modelling. Now this is this is obviously the cockpit, if you can see that. Obviously, this is a three video drop that's been released at the same time. Jason's got a video going out, and Paddy's got a video going out. Now this is the obviously a buddy build to commemorate the 85th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. So consequently, they're going to be Battle of Britain subjects. If you've been following the channel, you have noticed my classic airframes Hurricane. That was obviously just to kick us off, but you know, we're going to drop these three videos, and you can save them and watch them at your leisure at some point. It'd be good to watch them all together. What I will do, obviously, I will link the two channels, either above here or in the comments below. Please go and check him out, especially Paddy, because he's got a new channel, new YouTube channel. Very experienced modeler. He's going to be bringing to you projects that are going to be unique. I'm going to put myself out there and say they're going to be unique to YouTube. You never will have seen these before. Yeah, the three of us had a meet up at Duxford a little while ago. What a great museum that is. It's quite a long way from me, but well worth the effort, and I can highly recommend it to anybody. If you haven't been before, you must go and check out Duxford. With the housekeeping out of the way, I think we better get back to the build at hand. A nice kit, nicely detailed. It turns out okay in the end. Best I can say about it. What I did do, which I was a bit disappointed in myself, was skimp on seatbelts. Because I'm pretty mean, I decided, I'll tell you what we'll do, because it's only 72 scale, we'll make our own. And yes, right, bit of silver foil, painted silver foil. In fairness, I couldn't actually find seat belts to suit, and then of course when I did find seat belts to suit, it was all buttoned up, and that was the end of that. If I was going to do this again, I would probably, well, I would definitely add seat belts. There is a lot of glazing in the kit, and it's pretty good glazing, and you can see through it quite easily. So if you were examining the kit, then yes, definitely it could do with some belts. You can actually see a lot of this detail through the glazing, as I say, because it's pretty good. So yeah, you can see the belts there. It'll probably leave a little bit to be desired, unfortunately, but there you go. I've got to live with it. My own tight-fistedness. But as you can see now, it's really nice. It's a lovely, lovely little kit of a really good-looking aeroplane. We get to see it obviously later on in the build. What I did invest in though was this P-Wit canopy mask. There's a moment in this video or on the build that's pretty similar to the Hurricane, where you see it all starts to go a bit, yeah, and it's down to this canopy mask. P-Wit stuff normally is really good. I don't know what happened, but we'll get to it later. But there's definitely a moment where it all starts to go a little bit okay. As you can see, it all fits. There was no trimming to be done. All the shapes all seemed to fit that I could see. because I do recommend the P-Wit stuff. It must be something that I don't know. I don't know what it was. As I say, we'll talk about it when we can see it. But the other thing I did invest in, purely to make up the packaging, in fairness, was this Yahoo panel. It looks really nice. It didn't really fit, and you can't see it one little bit, as you'd have imagined. It's just buried in the combing and it's gone forever. As I say, I did only get it just to make up a bit of packaging. I've never used Yahoo before, and it's just to see what it looked like. It looks really nice, but obviously out of the kit it does. In the kit you can't see it. General construction is pretty good. There's no gaps to fill. There was no trimming down so much. You would always dry fit parts, of course. This being the older, newer Airfix, you know, it's pretty good, but you'd still always just have a quick check. There was one gap I had to attend to, which is just under the wing here, the wing to fuselage joint. I'm pretty happy it was underneath and not on top, but just a little shim of plasticard there. Pretty basic stuff, this little shim of plasticard. Let the glue go off, trim back, and then to fill perfect. Every time I try and say perfect plastic putty, perfect, I can't say it. PPP. There you go. I haven't even had a drink. So this is obviously a water-based acrylic filler, ideal for hairline gaps. What would you say? Nothing too thick, because obviously when it dries, because it's acrylic, it's a bit like polyfiller. It goes a little bit brittle, so you can't have it fill in too thick at gaps, because you'll end up cracking and falling out. But then you just smooth it down with a cotton bud with some water, and Bob's your uncle. Beautiful. Now the top of the fuselage to wing joint, there's not really a step. Now I'm making this look a lot worse than it actually is. You probably could have got away with, down there, look, I've done it underneath. You probably could get away with just sanding it without all this silly filling with black super glue. It didn't, like I say, it didn't really need it, and I'm making a bit of a song and dance over not a lot here. But after the super glue is cured, then we'll just attack it with some grades of sanding sticks and sanding sponges. These are all Infini things. I've had these for years and years and years. And then to rescribe that join there with this massive, terrifying scribing tool, which is leaves a real. It does leave a bit of a deep old pan line, but that's fine. We can handle that. I nearly had the bomb doors open, but again, I just think it detracts from the lines of the Dornier, because it's such a good looking, modern looking aeroplane. I didn't really want to take away from its its obvious lovely design. Even the hatch, I was considering to leave open just as a bit of detail, but I decided against. Even the underneath there, next to the yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, these are obviously the engines going on now. Rudimentary engines, they're okay, they're fine. You can see them seat belts, a bit copping. I did have to play with these parts here. They got the top of the engine cowlings. The kit parts as they were didn't really fit, so we had to trim them down, sand them down on both sides, and make a little notch for the exhaust to pop through. You know, and then fill the gaps. I mean, it's you know, it's that, and it's pretty easy to do. Canopy. Now this is the canopy. You can see that it is lovely and clear. The guns are going in. We're using ultra glue exclusively here. I'm ultra glue, which I'm a bit of a convert to at the minute. It's a lot safer than using extra thin or anything like that. There's a little gap here to fill as well, and it goes off crystal clear. But it's a little bit like PVA, of course, but it is a little bit stronger. I haven't tried removing the canopy. I think I'd still use PVA if it's something you're going to do temporary. Like if this was going to be like a temporary, use a canopy as like a temporary mask, I'd probably still use PVA then. And this is with the that P-Whip mask all masked up. I obviously didn't film it because it's absolutely dullness. But you know, looks alright, doesn't it? We're going to hit that with some O2. And then what is now, there's going to be some painting coming up, so I really will leave you for a couple of minutes. Cartograph decals is what Airfix use, probably the best, I would say, in my experience. Not much to say here really. They were, in fairness, they didn't really perform how I wanted to. The crosses were a lot thicker than the other decals, probably quite rightly, but they didn't really sink into the panel lines as much as I would like, and I did hit them with lots and lots of microsol or microset, whichever one it is, and some other chemicals as well. But I mean, it doesn't detract from the model at all. It's just could have been a little bit better, but you know, they didn't break up. They moved around on the surface of the model well, you know, none of that nonsense. Not like the Hurricane, which kind of lots of trouble with. I should also point out that this is over a clear gloss finish, X22, Tamiya X22. You know, old argument about should you decal over gloss or not. Well, I like to decal over gloss purely because it, like I've said before, the model becomes a lot more tactile. It's a lot easier and nicer to hold when it's all glossed up. Now, the undercarriage went together pretty well, to be honest. Looks a bit fiddly. Again, I'm making heavy weather of it. It's not really. If I had my hands in there, like I should be using my fingers, you wouldn't see anything. So, using tweezers so you can see what we're doing. But in fairness, it goes in quite well. Pretty strong as well. On the sprue, it does look a bit fragile, the undercarriage, but no, they're absolutely fine. No problems whatsoever. Really basic weathering. This build was never about technique, or it's all about the subject matter. This is all about commemoration of the 85th anniversary of the Battle of Britain by all who took part, you know, not just British or RAF or any other. It's all about everyone who took part. So this is why I chose this kit. Beautiful airplane. Like I say, these are just glazes, very thin. This is sepia oil, very thin. Then dried off and then rubbed down. Of course, if you over weather 72 scale kits, they can, personally, I think they can look a bit too much, unless it's in a diorama setting, of course. Just my personal opinion. This colour is Starship Filth, which is obviously a great colour to use, especially on greens and browns. Just going around hatches and panel lines and then pulling back with a dry brush, just to add just a little hint of a bit of weathering, a bit of use. Like I say, nothing overboard, nothing too much. Yeah, just like that, just easy as that. Just adds a little bit more work on the undercarriage, bit of a fiddle to get the what would you call them? Wheel guards? Don't know what you'd call them, to be honest. Our old favourite UV resin, a staple of your bench it should be, very handy. This is obviously just for a bit of glazing effects. Exhaust soot, it's very good stuff. I was going to talk about the canopy. You might be able to see it just there. I was left with like a little residue. I don't know whether it was bleed from the paints, the thinners. It certainly isn't adhesive from the masks. I've polished and scrubbed off with, as you can see there, just about see it. Look, it really got me down, and I kind of got fed up with it from when I demasked. What a shame. And they were coming right to the very end now, guys, so I won't keep you for much longer. So I'll just remind you to go and check out Paddy's and Jason's channels, because there's that 3-way drop happening as well. So please go and check that out. Give Paddy a like. As I say, he's quite it's quite a new channel, so any likes and subscribes, he'll love it. And he's got some great content on the way. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave it here, chaps. Thank you for hanging about. We will see you on the next one, whenever that will be. Don't think it'll be too long, because it's already sat on my bench. Ooh, how exciting.